Hello, friends. Last week I was reading the Jerusalem Post online and I came across an article about the Jewish American actor Nehemiah Persoff, who had celebrated his 102nd birthday. Persoff is one of the few living actors from the golden age of Hollywood. Nehemiah Persoff was a great character actor, and while you may not recognize his name, if you've watched a lot of film or television, you would probably recognize his face. Some of his more famous roles include Some Like It Hot, where he played the villain opposite Marilyn Monroe, Tony Curtis, and Jack Lemmon. He played Barbra Streisand's father in the film Yentl, and he was Papa Mousekewitz in all 4 films of An American Tail. He was in more than 200 films, TV shows, and theater productions. He played regular roles on The Twilight Zone, Alfred Hitchcock Presents, Mission Impossible, and Gunsmoke. This past summer, he published his autobiography, The Many Faces of Nehemiah, which I am really looking forward to having a chance to read. Persoff was born in Israel in 1919, and his family moved to New York City when he was 10, just as the Great Depression hit. He worked odd jobs, and he fell in love with movies. He landed a scholarship at an acting school in New York, and just when he began landing some theater roles, Pearl Harbor was bombed, and he was drafted into the United States Army for a 3-year engagement. However, he was fortunate and was assigned to an acting company to entertain soldiers at training camps and overseas. When he got out of the Army, he was one of the 26 members of the first class taught by Elia Kazan, along with James Whitmore and Julie Harris. His acting career took off and he eventually moved out to Los Angeles. Why am I sharing this with you today? Well, when I was working as a professional theater director in San Francisco in the late 1980s, my partner and I mounted a play about a Holocaust survivor, and we were able to cast Nehemiah Persoff in the lead role. It was a great privilege to direct Mr. Persoff, and he taught me a lot. Some of the most memorable times occurred on breaks when he would regale us with stories about his extraordinary film career. He had a role in a film called The Misfits, which was the last film of both Clark Gable and Marilyn Monroe. I wish I had recorded some of his stories about some of Hollywood's legendary actors, directors, and great films. He invited my late wife Yael and I down to his home in Cambria, where we spent several weekends with Nicky, as he preferred to be called, Nicky Persoff, and his wife Thea, and we spoke Hebrew with them the entire time. The play we worked on together, which was called Two, was not a great success in the Bay Area, but fortunately it was bought by a theater in Toronto. We recast the only other actor in the play, a young woman, and the show turned out to be a big success in Toronto. Nehemiah Persoff quit acting nearly 30 years ago after suffering a minor stroke. His final screen role was in HBO's 2003 adaptation of Angels in America, in which he played a rabbi. He retired to his home in Cambria, where he took up painting. He completed some 250 watercolors, which have drawn considerable praise and buyers. Nehemiah Persoff had a remarkable career as a successful professional actor, spanning more than 50 years. If you're curious to see his work, you might want to view Some Like It Hot, which I mentioned previously, or The Greatest Story Ever Told, or maybe even The Comancheros with John Wayne and Lee Marvin. It was an honor to work with Nicky, and I will always be grateful for his generosity of spirit expressed through his stories and the great knowledge he shared with me about the art of theater and acting. Stay safe and be well. Shalom uvracha, peace and blessings.